Hello, and welcome to the Pilot Podcast, where we talk with people who have taken unique paths and have some inspiring stories to tell us. My name is Helga, and I'm a third-year student at Kaospilot. And today I'm sitting with Ulla Grøn, our Kaospilot principal. Welcome, Ulla.
Thank you, Helga.
How
Nice
are
to
you
be
today?
here.
Yes, how are you today?
Very fine. The sun is shining. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful day.
It is on a cold winter day.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
In September,
Yes.
we had this Purpose and Principles seminar at Kaospilot, where Kaospilot invited staff, students, alumni, and also some partners and lecturers to come and collaborate on updating our purpose and principles.
Mhm.
And from what I gather, this has been done a couple of times, a few times before in the school's history.
Yeah.
But then hadn't been happening for some time. Is that
True.
right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So when had we done it the last time?
I believe you might need to double check the facts. But back in 2006, 8-ish,
Yeah.
2000. So quite some time ago.
Okay, it's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, but it's about purpose and principles. And the three of them that I only read about, I was not here at that point of time. But it was really to diving into why we're here and what is that we want to achieve as Kaospilot. Really good. And when we then did it this time, we added one thing. So we call it purpose and principles in practice. So we also get the element of how does it work, in everyday life?
Yeah.
Will it help us whenever we face a dilemma? How can we, from purpose and principles in our practice choices and stuff like updating the curriculum, for instance, how can we really work with it? So that was the add-on when we did it this time. And yeah, we were here 3 days.
Yes. How many people came, do you think?
I keep on changing the number. I don't know. Let's say 120.
Okay,
because it did vary.
It was many people.
It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was the purpose or the goal for gathering all of these different peoples to update it? Why not just update it yourself or with the staff?
Yeah. For two reasons. One is where are we now?
Okay.
Our place in the world. What is if in French you say raison d'être, but what is the reasons for existence for Kaospilot? I think it would be great to have quite some perspectives on that. Also outside, from outside, when people look at us.
Yeah.
And the question we set out to investigate on was, what does leading for impact look like? You can say 2030, or you can put whatever time frame, but looking forward towards what's needed, leading for and with impact. What do we need? So that was the guiding question.
Yeah,
we had, and then inviting people for many perspectives. Of course, we could have been more diverse. Of course, we could, but then it's also about ownership, because the product we have now, which you probably already saw it on the website, it's been communicated internally and so on, but that is owned by many people. It has many parents, not just a few from leadership or from staff. And that, I think, is really valuable.
And what part did futures thinking play in it?
The futures?
Yeah, futures thinking as kind of a mindset theory or tool. Yeah.
We worked with one of our external lecturers, Lenka Chokotara. So she works with the students on future foresight.
Okay.
So that is the methodology. And that was what we did the first day. You and many more simply built 5 worlds.
Yeah.
Across the school. So if you went into the world of chaos, which is a realistic scenario over the next 5 years, it also happens, on occasion from, it can be volcano eruptions that stop the world, or it can be war and so on. So, but the world of chaos, what would then be leading for impact? From a place as Kaospilot. And then we built five different worlds.
Yeah. So
brought it into day 2,
uh-huh.
where we then had to decide. We made a survey
Mm-hmm.
and asked about what are the challenges you face today. So leading for impact, leading what for impact? That was basically what we asked about.
Yeah.
So it turned out as 5 dilemmas, where we then used the insights from working with the worlds to go and refine the dilemmas. So should it be high tech or high touch? If you put it up as that.
Yeah, that was one of the dilemmas.
Yeah, that was one of the dilemmas. And how do we work with that? What is our guiding? And the principle we had out of it as adaptability. I remember from one of the workshop sessions, I happened to be there when they had one of the discussions. And they said it's like riding a wave like a surfer. So it could, let's take AI, high tech, but it's also really to know when to change to another wave. And that could be going deep, a face-to-face setting, for instance. So having that picture of the surfer when it comes to the dilemma of high tech and high touch, I think it was brilliant work.
So the adaptability of the surfer kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was what we worked with, what came out of it.
Yeah, it was I think it was like a very special thing to be a part of, at least for myself. But were there any, or what were the, at least in your eyes or your perspective, what were the key themes or ideas that emerged during these 3 days?
I think it is captured actually in the output.
Yeah, which is the purpose and the principles.
The purpose and the principles.
Yeah.
And then we have worked and also built a mission based on the same elements later, but to make it a bit more concrete.
Yeah. And the mission has more to do with the direction than the purpose, more overarching.
Exactly.
Okay.
So why are we in the world and what is it that we do?
Yeah.
Where do we want to go? Exactly. To me, as a newbie, it was simply amazing to feel how much love and dedication people come with. And wherever there is a challenge to be addressed and so on, everything that emerged, some of the discussions were pretty heated. And you were one of the facilitators, right?
Yeah.
So some of the workshops that emerged were pretty heated. And it's really, I think, a unique situation to really be able to grasp and see it all comes from a good place. It's all about how to ensure that Kaospilot will be better and understand the importance of leading for impact, because we love this place.
Yeah.
And then there might be different reasons, different perspectives. And again, we need all of them. So I think feeling that for the first time, I felt it, even since before I started, when, when you welcomed me, even before I started. Still. Yeah. But feeling it with such a diverse group as we were throughout 3 days and really stressing people into working with this, that was simple. So that, I think, stands as the most important one. But secondly, I'm proud. I am happy with, and I'm sure will benefit from the outcome that we did produce. They will support us in the next years a lot and give us direction. So it will give direction. We can attune around that and we can commit to it. And
these purpose and principles, they have also played a role in the strategy making.
Yes.
Have they not? And that is now, is it coming to an end, that work, the strategy work?
Or when does it start and when does it end?
That's
but we're now,
question.
I believe we started it, I don't know when. For me, I feel like the first workshop I actually attended with students and staff, facilitated by Lenka, where we the first time worked into future foresight, or first time for me. I feel like that was the starting point, because also the elements we produced there were super valuable.
Yeah.
So I think we've been working with strategy since then, collecting a lot of input, understanding what's it about, doing some reading, also the academic stuff behind all of this. And now we've simply just been in the phase of having this key touch point with the public, and then taking all the elements and have a concentrated process of putting this into a strategy paper. So when you do that, you need to formalize what it's about and be clear, and that's different because you actually make a lot of choices when you
Yeah.
produce a paper as such. And what we did was we simply made a small writing group, 4 persons. So one from student board, and one to represent the education, and one to represent the professional programs. So we went together and basically drafted the strategy. Then we had it in different loops with students, where we tried out students and staff, where we tried out a new concept of working asynchronous. How can you say that? Not being all in the room at the same time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of students were, and staff for that matter, were not in the country. So how can we then high tech, high touch? How can we use the high tech perspectives on inviting people in, on co-thinking and co-creating? So we did different things, and what has that been, like 6 weeks, something like that?
Yeah.
And then we presented it to the board 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Very recently.
Yes.
And how does that process look? Is it then like accepted, or is it an evaluation and then you continue?
It's approved.
It's approved.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that means now the next phase is to get it shared. What's it about? And perhaps I should say that what might be a bit untraditional in how to work with strategy is, but it worked brilliantly with the board as well. It's to go and indicate where will it take us, but how is going to be a bottom-up process.
I see. Yeah.
And I think that's who we are. I think that's how we work. So there'll be 3 work streams composed across, again, the usual suspects. I should say perhaps the students, the course participants from the professional programs, from staff, from alumni, from externals. Let's see.
Yeah.
But the first step will be to have a few people carrying forward those work streams to actually scope it better and to put some targets on it. And then we build it together.
And it's very exciting. I look forward to hear about it at least.
Yes.
And what about Kaospilot's future? Like, how do you see Kaospilot evolve during the next maybe 3 to 5 years? We look on a little shorter time horizon. Yeah.
No, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's actually the project period for the strategy.
Okay, perfect.
So, and the reason for putting it 25 to 28 is that now we're going to update the curriculum, and it, meaning Team 32 will start in August, and then following there, August 25, and they will graduate June 28. So that's, getting ready for that, going a full circle, and then declining. And also along the way, we will, of course, look into the next strategy period.
And they will start on a completely new, completely, but on a new curriculum, or what?
I would say updated.
Updated. Okay.
Updated curriculum.
Yeah.
Very recognizable, but I think a lot of the stuff that I know has also been raised over the last couple of years will also, of course, impact the reshaping, I would say, the updating of the curriculum.
Yeah. And what does it like? Yeah, what do you think it means for the future, or like, are there any new initiatives or directions that are on the horizon?
Yeah. The 3 work streams, they are about our internal ways of working. They are about projects, collaborations, and they are about being rooted or nested in what we do. So, but they all go into the same direction of, let me start with an example.
Yeah.
So perhaps in 2 or 3 years, what you see is that we at Kaospilot, we have a long-term collaboration with an external partner. It can be public, private, NGO, working with a long-term challenge, with a long-term impact. So how to lead for impact? Well, let's also address long-term.
Yeah.
And basically, it will mean that the external partner will have a good project organization around it. for the students, they can tap into the project, perhaps, the partnership,
Yeah.
the challenge, perhaps many times during the
Mm.
education. The students can stand on the shoulders of other Kaospilot works, but still there will be a consistent progression. And the the leadership training we have from, like creative leadership and
Yeah.
how to work with learning and all of that,
Mm.
we can also use that to train the rest of the organization. So you can see it as one big collaboration, long term. What I think is that I think no, what I think is different from at least how I perceive the situation these days
Yeah.
is to make it intentional
Yeah.
and build a partnership
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that we do offer this possibility to those who want it. Perhaps 20% of the students tap into this way of working the first year, but then perhaps it's 30, then perhaps it's 50. So it's not to replace building a business or being an entrepreneur or
Yeah.
starting from scratch, but it's offering also a possibility to look into stuff that's already running.
Mm.
How do you then tap into that without
Yeah.
losing momentum? How do you build on? How can you add new perspectives, take it further? And perhaps most importantly, how can you revisit it later again?
Mm.
So, what do you think of it?
I think it sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
I think also, maybe there's a touch of randomness in how we choose projects now, because there's so much freedom in like choosing it yourself as a student,
Yeah.
which is great. And what I'm hearing from you is that would also still be there, but that there will also be the possibility of tapping into something that's has a longer history or has been running for a longer time.
Yeah. And where you
I
might
think
have
that's quite
higher
interesting.
expectations towards what impact you can make happen, what transformation you can see.
Yeah.
So I think it could augment the ambition level, perhaps, of change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should be so that you can work with it from many perspectives. So do you want to work with it from art?
Yeah.
Is it the process design that you're really, really interested in?
Mm-hmm.
Is it with the purpose of, on longer term, actually building your own position?
Mm-hmm.
So making a living from it. So I think a lot of perspectives can go in.
Yeah.
That we also embrace today.
Yeah.
But they can also go into this about a bit more long term impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find it exciting. I think it will be cool to see how it evolves in the next years.
Yeah.
What are you?
I have a personal wish as well.
Yes.
Let's say we make 1 or 2 with Aarhus. The local environment here, with an international global perspective. So also about getting people come to us and so on. I would simply just love to see that it also means that more Kaospilot are actually producing more interesting job opportunities in Aarhus, so that you stay when you're graduated.
Interesting.
That I think would be really, really great.
Yeah, I can see that. At least that's not maybe the general status of today. There's some stay and some leave, but I think that's also when you have an international school, it's maybe hard to predict.
It should be, people going everywhere. I think many of us would just love to see more staying in Aarhus with the purpose of living here and building change and transforming the society.
And I think that's also very relevant if you've been working on some projects like during the education here. Yeah. So I think that sounds very nice.
So that's an example.
Yeah. Okay, we're starting to close off, but the last question is, maybe I'm curious on, like, what are you most excited about from all of this that we've talked about today, like from the having done the purpose and principles seminar and updating the strategy and the future and what's to come. Is there something that excites you on the horizon?
I think the as you could hear the example I just mentioned.
Yes,
getting that up and running.
The long-termness and
yes,
bigger impact.
Yes, that really excites me. And then it excites me the way we do it as well. So really understanding how to set direction also by being transparent and arguing why we do it this way and so on. But then this about us doing it together. So you cannot foresee how it's going to happen. And I feel so safe
Yeah.
because if we really get people to tap into those work streams and carrying it forward and leaning in and say, okay, it might not be exactly the one I would have pictured, but this is good. Let's
Yeah.
go. Then I simply trust that we will build initiatives, we'll build implementation plans that will be super good. And they would be better, much better than if it were a small top-down group.
Mm.
So I really trust in the collective capability of this organization. It goes from the programs to seasoned leaders and the humongously big network they have. It goes over the students and our tradition, the partners that we have and the new partners that we will get. And hopefully also that we make this a place where people, with clever thoughts, they stop by to give a lecture or speak or whatever to a larger extent than what is happening today. I really believe we can do that if we are able to lean in and say, let's go.
Yeah.
That excites me as well.
It excites me too. Yeah, but thank you for sharing so much today. Also being able to share something about the future and the strategy.
Thank you for inviting.
Yes. Do you have a last message to our listeners?
There's a lot of new stuff coming. Some is there, but much more will come. So I think, visiting our website, and if it doesn't catch your eye, look for it. So you could look for where to sign up for the newsletter or the newsletters, but sign up so that you get this regular information. Of course, the podcasts, where I know you've done this for some time now, but you are also having, a race of ambitions with the podcast and changing some things. So I think both those you did, but also those that I know you are planning to do.
Thank you.
I would definitely recommend them as well. And then, like we discussed earlier, the purpose, the mission, the principles, it's there.
Yeah.
Have a look and chew them and find out what does it mean for you.
And it's under About on the Kaospilot website.
Yes, it is.
So go check them out.
And then don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger. Reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. Kaospilot has always been easy to reach, and people love to talk and share and explore together.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ulla. That was it for today's episode. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for episodes to come.